This is very last minute. I wasn't planning on doing this because I thought the balance would drop later tonight, but turns out it just dropped before I went to work. So finally got off the clock, so here we are. Let's not delay any longer and just jump right into it. So, if I get it for May 1st, so this will be live for Worlds. You stink. Fuck you, Hibiki. How about that? Nah, but standard not having changes is surprising. Like, I thought they would at least move over some other, like, hits that JP just had. So for Worlds, I guess standard will just be Bob meta and nothing else. Duma, real Barry, real and true. V-Prem, Lamau. So for Premium, right off the bat, we have, what, Reverence Rush and a choice trick between the Crestmaker and V Luard. Reverence Rush, I'm glad to see gone. This card is really fucking unhinged. Basically, any Keter could just stack a heal and just call it a day. Like, I really hate this card. Honestly, hitting Crestmakers in general is good, but like, I don't think Crest Lord was doing anything, bro. Like, this feels weird, but like, it feels fine. Like, I'm not gonna complain about it. People that don't like Crest won't complain about it, but like, this just feels like a weird hit. But it's understandable if the other Crest decks are also getting hit. Anyways, moving along. I mean, this is a good hit. This is a very good hit. I think the biggest thing with Crest makers, and just Crest in general, is how much advantage you get from his Cold Strides. Now, this means that you have to go second in order for them to actually be relevant, I think. Or, you can only really play Crest decks going second now because what the fuck are you doing going first? So we have the same restriction for... So basically all the Crest decks are getting restricted with their G counterpart, except for Luard. But I like this hit for Crest Makers if not going to kill it. I'd rather them just be outright banned, but like, if you're going to hit the Crest Makers, I feel like this is a pretty effective way to do it. Simply because, like, you get a lot of tempo if you just his Cold Stride alongside Crest. So, restricting it like this makes a lot of sense. Although this idiot right here just doesn't have a his Cold Stride, so you know, this is a fine hit. They just don't want you to farm markers, which is fair, I guess. Yeah, I feel like you just stray away from Crest in Nubatama. It's dominate at home, basically. I see a lot of people not even playing Crest in Masai anyway, so that's kind of whatever. These two are interesting restrictions. I don't think they outright kill the decks. I think Jet can still do ride down shit, right? So I guess ride down while doing Crest shit is decent enough, I think. With Harry, you just play stage. You just play stage. Like, that's all it is. We move Crest stage Harry now? Probably, like, honestly. Like, unironically, I don't think Magia has any... Magia is still playable, don't get me wrong, but, you need a lot to get going, in my opinion. Like, I'd rather just play Crest and just call it a day. Or, yeah, Crest stage, I guess, now. Stage mention? True! When placed. But yeah. Crest's Magia is very playable, at least. That's fair. You do have a lot of tools and shit, but, like, you just don't have that stupid fucking Crest power behind it. It is fun. It is a lot, like, Magia is a lot more fun, but, making Excel just fires the neurons, bro. It gets the neurons activated, just making a bunch of fucking Excels. At least dragging to 9% of the time online. That's true. That's true. Like, I've been personally testing Crest Stage here and there, but the top end of that deck is very, very fucking high, but like, if you brick even slightly, you're kind of fucking cooked. No Zinc, 0 to 10 list. No. Zinc is a fucking crazy resource card. Rose? We're gonna skip ahead a bit because I know that Rose has got a second restriction, so we'll talk about that just as a whole here. This is kind of huge. Because, like, what? Negra Lily has only one really good revive target now, and it's just Mick, right? Like, so choosing her at Beatrice kind of kills a lot of your interaction on your opponent's turn. So this is really rough. But that, alongside the crest restriction, really fucking hurts. This has to be normal, like, not trigger. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, oh, you can't call Mick? Yo, this deck sucks, bro. Holy fuck. Oh my god, it's worse than I thought. Holy shit. Okay, so, no, y'all got fucking railed. Holy shit. Yeah, was you and Necronora flip 4? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, so it's just an all-in combo deck now, right? Like, it's kind of fucking boring. But outside of Rose just being like, I guess Crest Rose going second is still pretty good, because V Rose is still a very solid card. Luard is the only deck to survive Crest hits, but now markers unless we ride V Drag Strider. That's fair, yeah. Because if you ride Drag Heart, you make a lot of markers in general. Like, what, 3 in a turn, right? By the end of it? That's an insane amount of tempo, but you don't have access to that anymore, which is a fairly good hit, I'd say. But yeah, Rose just being like a going second combo deck now, with if you play Crest, obviously, like, still wild. Crest Rose is the best Crest deck skill still. I could see it, like, honestly. Like, a lot of your strides are like pretty good finishers, like Bad Bounty and Bart, and you have a lot of combo extenders as is. Yeah, but and Largolf being hit is pretty huge, I'd say. In Grand Blue specifically, this is a very good way to grab back Forbidal to get more calls on your Obadiah. Also a good way to just recycle heals in like all of these fucking clans, which is kind of why I think it got hit. Like, just recurring heals is pretty insane just for G guarding in general. So this is a very good blanket hit, I'd say. Just to lower the how annoying some of these clans could be, I think. Honoranga is so annoying for other clans that can't abuse it that much. Yeah, it's true. Like, Grand Blue's the biggest offender of this, I'd say. New Nectar could cheat this out as well off Katrina, just to grab back heals. So, seeing in Largolf go is, I think, a very good hit, in my opinion. So, but at locals, there's this guy that plays nothing but Genesis. So this page, this whole page, it fills me with joy. It makes me happy to know that he will be very upset. Unfortunately, yeah, Dreaming Dragon is... I'm kind of surprised Dreaming Dragon went. It feels like... It always felt like a safe backup plan if you gas it a little too hard. It feels like it's not game-breaking, it's more so there just as, like, Genesis not to lose to itself. Geld restricted to 1 stops any, like OTK shenanigans, I think. Because the fact that it always goes back to bot deck and gets you more soul is why it was, like, super playable in OTK Fenrir's. It being hit to 1, it effectively kills that deck, I think. And Melissa, well, I think Tony from fucking Yellow Card is happy to see this card go, but he doesn't fucking play this game anymore. But yeah, Melissa Mill, annoying ass card. Glad to see it go. It wasn't anything insane, but in a lower power level environment, I could see it being pretty obnoxious. Okay. Mizukaze and Tsukumori-Con, I'm glad to see these go, honestly. It's never... How would I say this in a nice way? Mizukaze is a card that's very easy to break, in my opinion. Like... Well, obviously, turn-wide guard restricts are just very fucking annoying to deal with, but, like... Mizukaze specifically is very... It feels like an auto-win card in certain scenarios. But, obviously without crest power, it's a lot weaker, but... It's just good to see guard restricts gone, in my opinion. Tsukumori-Con is also very fucking obnoxious, just hand-ripping you down to 4. Effectively 3 if you're still on Dominate. So it's good to see these two go, just... General... Hand-ripping in Vanguard is very hit or miss, like, what was that Kagero card that got hit a while back? Like, I feel like Bushiroad is very conscious on what they hit in terms of hand-ripping, and now I feel like they're being a bit more careful with that, which is Obviously good to see. We gotta pour one out, Morgan, if you're here. 07 to the king. Hope on damp and variance hard leg gone. Good riddance. 07 to the king. No life king, you will be missed. I mean, it just feels like we're hitting all the guard districts, which is fair. Like, in a vacuum, these cards are very fucking obnoxious. So it's obviously for the health of the game, it's good to see them go. Let's be real here. Oh. Oh, I didn't know this was hit as well. What the fuck? Hang on. Oh. I wasn't aware that Melon got restricted with Mazer here. Okay. So what? If you decide to play Crescent Jet, you have to play it without Melon. So that means you don't have easy access to TikTok Worker, and you have to play going second, basically. Melon on Crest is extremely strong, I'll give you that, but like, this really kneecaps that fucking deck. Holy shit. It's a good hit, don't get me wrong. Since you were playing V-Jet Ride Down, that's fair, that's fair. So you will always like have Melon bullshit going second, or going first technically, because you just Ride Down, right? This is a good hit, this is a good hit. Like, I was just surprised, don't get me wrong, but I'm quite pleased with this hit. I'm prepared to not play Crest. True. I mean, just farm a bunch of markers, Tyson. That's all you need, right? Like, just make markers. But this is a good hit. I'm surprised, but I'm happy with this hit. Like, this does make sense. 07. I'm a happy boy now. Gridora to 1. But yeah, I am very happy that Gridora is... This should have been the hit that happened, what, a couple months ago now? Like, or a couple weeks rather, but... Gridora to 1 makes a lot of sense. I don't know why they hit her to 2, like, that felt very... very stupid. But... one of my local boys was talking to me about this, like, of the potential that Gridora's just gone. We lose a lot of, we lose the greatest green shell for, like, standard decks. Because I feel like Gridora was the easiest deck to build a standard deck around for Stokea. Because what, you're just gonna sit on a fucking floodgate and do 4 attacks minimum a turn, right? But outside of that, this is just, everyone's gonna be happy that this is gone. Like, fuck's sake, bro. I don't think Gridora will ever leave as long as she's allowed at 1. I think she's fine at 1. 1 turn of doing nothing is fine, I think. Because after that, they're forced to, what, Optyrannus you? Like, by all means, bro, spend your 2 counterblasts. Anyways, I could now G-Guard, thank fuck. Like, honestly, Gridora being to 1, I think is fine. It makes a lot of sense. And I'm just glad that she's finally restricted. Jesus. Katrina to 1, I think it's a fair hit. Given everything else in the format that's been hit, I feel like this deck would have been insane if Katrina was untouched. So Katrina to 1, I think, is fair in the context of these other hits. Personally, I don't like playing into Katrina myself, but I think that's because she just does way too much for what she is, I think. Like, you get so much value off one Katrina, so now that you only have 1, it actually matters when you stride into it. Chang is angry. Barry, a lot of our boys are angry. Mei Chang curses thou. It is what it is. Like, I personally don't like playing into this shit. Like, it is what it is. I don't know. To me, I think Katrina was a very... She just does, like, a little too much, you know? This is coming from the guy that has fucking Dark Lord Princess in his deck, but, like... I don't know. When I sit across the table from both Katrina, I am just shitting myself every time, because it's like... They either... Yeah, as fucking Z-Winter says, they either call, like, 3 Honolus, they call a bunch of fucking PGs, grab that shit back, or they just bash your fucking skull in, like... Like, the hard pivot, depending on the situation, is insane to me. So having only 1 turn of that, I think, is fair, given the rest of the hits. Like, this, I think, is... It makes sense. It makes sense. Well, to me, at least. And we covered this already, so... I'm very surprised that they just kind of nuked Premium. I feel like they just would have hit Crest and just called it a day, to be honest, but... generally speaking, I'm happy with the list. Um, what did they miss from the ban list is the better question. Because I feel like they hit most of the problem cards. I'm gonna play Pillman or maybe Dust Off Hard 8 Angels. Mash, what the hidden Angels? Oh, Angel Ladder is what you mean, okay. Um, I think Ladder is fine now, I think. Because let's be real here. Ladder was good in Crest meta because of both Magia Harry and Crest Rose. Because those are like the main interruption decks, in my opinion. So having those hit, I think it's fine that Angel Ladder is also not hit. Obviously, Angel Ladder is a fucked card, don't get me wrong. But I think now it should be more acceptable, I think. Obviously, I would have loved to see a couple unbans, but I think they do just want to test the water, see how this meta shapes out before they start unbanning shit, which I think is fair. I don't know why Spangled hit. That one intern lost to a fucking reverse stack GN, it is what it is. I think hitting Azerath with Gize, so it has to run Ultima, so they can't play OT either. That is a fair hit. I think Gize will see a bit of representation post this ban list. I want Daemonus to 5. Yeah, you and me both, man. You and me both. Think about it. If they unlimit Daemonus, that sells more product because that's more Dark States bosses you can play in premium now. Big brain, big brain. But you know, I'm quite pleased with this list. But yeah, I'm expecting more of a triangle format to come out of this ban list. Like, I'm expecting a lot of people trying the go second crest decks. Obviously, I think Jet and like Harry would probably do. Well, Jet, Harry, and Rose I think would do the best in that format. Given how Harry just plays Stage, and Stage was already like relatively playable, like pre-crest. Rose, I think, is still very solid as a going second deck, purely because of how many combo extenders you have and how many bigger bodies you have. And Jet has that ride down gimmick, which I think is still very solid. The other point to that triangle is that I think ride downs are going to be good. Like, forcing your opponent into a Hiscol stride is a lot better than forcing them into, or letting them stride an actual stride first. Obviously, some decks don't care, they'll just do the Hiscol stride anyways, but the biggest thing with ride down is how you generate a lot more markers, which help swing tempo more in your favor. But yeah. And the other point for that triangle that I was going to bring up is just like aggro decks, I feel like aggro decks are going to be a lot stronger now. Stuff like Victor, for example, stuff like Spike Bros. I feel like those decks would be very strong in this format. Like, they just won't care. They'll stride and just kill you as soon as possible. I feel like those decks will excel pretty well here. And that's also why I think ride down decks would be good, just to stop them from going for like a crazy stride turn. So that's where I sort of expect the format to trend. I feel like it'll just be that like triangle of decks. So it'll be just going second crest decks or going first in terms of Jet. It'll be ride down decks and it'll be just aggro decks. I feel like those three will excel the most. Oh yeah, speaking of which, fucking aggro decks. I feel like Tachikaze will also do fairly solid as well. Like, this is not me being gaslit by Charlie. Although it kind of is just a little bit, because he pilled me on this deck, and that deck is gas as fuck sometimes, but the biggest issue with Tachi, I think, is the piece reliance. But outside of that, I feel like it's a very strong aggro deck. Excel the most like Victor. This is true. This is very true. But yeah, overall, I am quite happy with this list. It feels like one that I will actually shake up the format, and one that the community was sort of looking for the longest time. So I am quite happy. Now, with that being said, we will open up the discussion. I have a bunch of people waiting, and they want to give their opinions. So, let's see who will be first.